Hey guys, this video is to help you with 5.2 perspective writing. The lesson objective for this lesson is students will be able to take an alternate perspectives or take on alternate perspectives to write their own response to Simple Recipes. And so at this point you've read Simple Recipes, the short story, and now you're thinking about perspective. Okay, what do we mean by perspective first of all? Well, perspective is simply the way you see something, right? Your point of view. And so if you look in the little comic that we have here, we've got 4 different perspectives, right? We've got the little old lady who sees the bird singing and is like, oh, I love hearing bird song on a beautiful May day, right? She's happy. We have the bird who's like singing, and maybe it's to like attract a mate or, tell other birds where he's at or whatever it is birds are doing to communicate, but he's just really thinking about his song. The cat sees the bird, hears the bird song, and thinks, ooh, yummy, I would love to eat that little guy. And then the worm over here is like, oh, I gotta watch out. That bird means death. He wants to eat me, right? So they all have a different perspective about the bird's song. Perspective is affected by who you are, what you value, what information you have, and more. The same story can become very different when it's told from a different perspective. And it's really key for us as literary analysts, readers of stories, and people who then make sense of the larger purpose of the story, to look at perspective and how a story is told and from what perspective it is told. So think about this. Whose perspective is this and what is their tone? Ugh, I'm so ready for summer to start. I can't do any more assignments. Does that feel like you? Do you feel that way? It sounds a little bit like you. Since they have assignments, it's probably the perspective of a student. And when we talk about tone, tone is the attitude of the speaker. And so the attitude they have, what do you think? Negative, exhausted, ready to be done with school, ready for summer, right? How about this one? Your packets are due in class tomorrow. If you have questions or need help, make sure to sign up for HLL. Who does that sound like? Whose perspective is this and what is their tone? Well, it's probably the teacher. They're the ones setting the assignment due dates. Straightforward, your packets are due in class tomorrow. That's just straightforward information being given. The second one has kind of a positive, helpful tone, like, if I can help you, make sure you do something about it so that I can help you, right? How about this last one? Good morning, Cooper staff. We only have a few weeks left in this year, so let's make sure to finish strong. Who's that? Well, it's probably administration, because it sounds like they're in charge of the staff. And their tone is positive and encouraging. Finish strong. Let's make sure the speaker wants to motivate others. Okay, so what I want you guys, how about from the story Simple Recipes? Whose perspective is this and what is their tone? There's a simple recipe for making rice. My father taught it to me when I was a child. That sounds like our narrator, who is also the author of the short story because it's a memoir. So it's Ms. Thien talking about her childhood. I don't know, is this straightforward? Is it a little bit nostalgic because she's thinking about her past? But it's a bit straightforward. There's not a lot of extra words making her, sound a certain way. She's just telling us straightforward that her father taught her the simple recipe. When we hear the simple, that makes it sound like the recipe is easy. And of course, that's part of the problem in this story, right? Because for the narrator, it isn't so simple. So later on, we might wonder if her tone is a little bit sarcastic almost. Like, hey, it's not actually simple. Today, I made a recipe of fish and cauliflower that used to be my favorite when I was a child. Can you tell who that is after reading the story? It's probably the father, right? And, maybe again a little bit nostalgic, thinking about when he was a child. Today, after a long day of work, I was happy to come home to a meal prepared by my husband and daughter. Who is that from the story? It's the mother, right? And how about her attitude? What's her tone? Well, she's got an attitude word right in the sentence, right? Happy. And what about this one? Nothing I do is good enough for my stupid dad. Even when I'm choking on his cooking, he blames me. Well, that's the son, the brother to the narrator, right? And he sounds angry. And I think he probably is angry. He's probably pretty frustrated with his dad, feels unfairly blamed by his dad. Okay, so what we want you to do now for this next step is to choose a perspective for your own narrative. You're going to tell this story, simple recipe, yourself. And how will the point of view affect the story? So you're going to choose either, you're not going to choose Miss Thien, because Madeline Thien, because that's what we've already heard. We've already heard her point of view. But you could choose the father, the mother, or the brother. Okay? So in your packet, you're going to pick the brother, father, mother, and think about how they would feel about what happened in the story and why. And what would their voice be like if they were to tell this story? And then write a short narrative of at least 5 sentences from the point of view of this character. All right, good luck to you as you work on this, and let us know how we can help.